So who's the best player in the Championship for every single shirt number? Let's find out. Guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. This one, bit of a self-explanatory one really, but we will be counting down, for me personally, who is the best player in the Championship for every single shirt number. Get your thoughts down below. If we could hit 300 likes on today's video, that would be massively appreciated. But without any further ado, let's go. Starting out with number 1, I've gone for Norwich goalkeeper Tim Krul with a save percentage of 81.2% so far this season. No other Championship goalkeeper has managed to match that, although he does have some other pretty stiff competition for that number 1 shirt. And carrying on for the Norwich City theme, number 2 goes to Norwich City fullback Max Aarons. He's been absolutely fantastic this season once again for Norwich, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he adapts once again to Premier League life. I think he'll be all the more better for having another year of experience at this level under his belt, but realistically, Max Aarons has his future playing in the Premier League. Now number 3, I've had to split because I couldn't really separate between Rico Henry and Omar Richards, both absolutely fantastic, who each wear that number 3 shirt. Obviously, this season, especially for Omar Richards at Reading, he's gone ahead and got that dream move to Bayern Munich after the season he's just had, but consistently over the last 2 or 3 years now, Rico Henry's been right up there in terms of one of the best fullbacks in the Championship. They're both great for me. Number 4, I've gone for QPR's Rob Dickie. You know, I think he's been such an underrated player this season, not by QPR fans, but maybe general fans of the Championship, with 7 man of the match performances so far this season. Statistically, he's been one of the best defenders in the league so far this season, and can also score an absolute thunderbolt like he did against Middlesbrough. Number 5, I've gone for Derby County's Christian Beelink. I think that he showcased in the time when he wasn't injured just how good he actually is, and had he not been injured this season, Derby would have considerably more points on the board. Now don't get me wrong, Grant Hanley's been absolutely amazing for Norwich City this season, and it was also in with a shout, but Christian Beelink for me, one of, if not the best sort of holding midfielders in the league, and it's been such a shame that he's been so injury prone over these last couple of years. Number 6 goes to someone else who's missed large chunks of this season so far, but it's still absolutely fantastic. It's Christian Norgard. Last season for Brentford especially, he was the man that kept them ticking and moving up the pitch. If we spoke about, you know, Beelink being one of the best holding midfielders in the league, Norgard is also right up there in that conversation. He's absolutely fantastic, and another example of Brentford's brilliant recruitment strategy. Now number 7 is also a bit of a 50-50 for me. It's between Reading's Michael Elise and Blackburn Rovers' Adam Armstrong. In terms of an individual and their sort of individual talent and how unique they are and things like that, Michael Elise I think probably wins this one, but I do think there's been a little bit of a drop off in his performances as of late, where Armstrong obviously has consistently been, you know, hitting amazing numbers in the Championship. 24 goals this season with 5 assists to go along with it. Number 8, I've gone for Swansea City's Matt Grimes. I think that since arriving in Wales, he's been a real mainstay in this Swansea side and continues to prove his importance to the side. Number 9, I've gone for Bournemouth's Dom Solanke. A really impressive goal return this season with 15 goals and 8 assists. Number 10 was such a tough one to pick. I've just gone for Bournemouth's Arnaud Danjuma. I think for me, he's the most sort of enjoyable one to watch out of the ones that I was considering, and in the second half of the season especially, he's been a pivotal part of Bournemouth's, you know, real resurgence lately under Jonathan Woodgate. But all the very honourable mentions goes to the likes of Kiefer Moore and Andre Ayew, who also are well within their shout of being the best number 10 in the league. And Daryl DK, another one who's been wonderful for Barnsley. Number 11, I've gone for Watford's Adam Messina. I think that he has provided to be a real pivotal part of this Watford side, especially in the second half of the season, and ultimately going on to pick up promotion with them. His late goal against Cardiff also, I think, turned out to be a real game changer in their season. Sticking with Watford, number 12 goes to Ken Sema, who's played absolutely everywhere on that left-hand side, whether it's a left winger, left midfielder, a wing back, a left back. He's done absolutely everything for them, but a good return in terms of goals and assists, 5 and 4 for him this season. Number 13, I've gone for QPR shot stopper Seny Dieng. I know that he dropped a bit of a clanger at the weekend, but disregarding that, over a full season, I think he's been one of the most impressive goalkeepers in the Championship. This being a real breakthrough year for him at this level, and yeah, for me, still one of the best. Number 14, I've gone for Norwich City's Todd Cantwell, although for this shirt number, there's also a fair bit of competition as well, you know, from the likes of Ovie Ejaria, Yannick Bolasie, who's been really good for Middlesbrough, but Todd Cantwell just has that real feeling of Premier League quality about him, especially in the recent few months. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does once again at Premier League level. Number 15, I've gone for Bournemouth's Adam Smith, a solid fullback at this level, produced 5 assists as well this season. Number 16, I've gone for Blackburn Rovers' Harvey Elliott. I think that in terms of the age he is and the sort of numbers that he's put up this season in terms of like chances created, 6 goals and 11 assists he's grabbed for himself this season. But there is a bit of competition for this one. I might have even edged towards Lewis Cook had he not picked up that injury when he did, because he's also been a real fantastic member of this Bournemouth side when he's played. But yeah, Harvey Elliott this season really has been good, hasn't he? Number 17, there is some serious talent in the Championship, and it's a bit of a toss-up between Emi Buendia and Ivan Toney, who have both been unbelievable this season. But for me, it has to go to Emi Buendia. For me, the best player in the Championship this season. 14 goals, 16 assists, 14 man of the match performances as well. He's just been different gravy. Number 18, I've gone for Reading's Lucas João, and although he's not quite been as efficient in the second half of the season as he was in the first, still come back with a fantastic goal return of 19 goals and 7 assists this season. Number 19, I've gone for Watford's Will Hughes. Proved himself once again to be a really valuable player in this Watford setup, especially at this level. Last season, I probably would have gone for Brian Mbeumo, but as his performances individually have dropped off slightly since last season, I'd probably edge towards Will Hughes for number 19. Number 20 goes for Norwich City's Oliver Skipp. On loan from Spurs this season would be a really good bit of business if they can get him back on loan for their Premier League journey next season. But yeah, once again proves to be why there is so much value for Championship clubs dipping into the loan market. There's not been many more successful than Skipp this season. Number 21, you know what, I'm going to go for Middlesbrough's Neeskens Cabano. I think he's had some really nice moments for them since arriving on loan in January and has been sort of the game changer in some of their matches. I could have gone for Naki Wells, who has got 10 goals this season, but to be honest, I don't think he's been like great this season. For the number 22 shirt, there was a bit of competition, but let's be real, it has to be Teemu Pukki. 25 goals as well as 4 assists. He once again proves himself to be one of the most lethal strikers to ever play at this level. 23, of course, goes for Watford's Ismail Assar. I think that since Xisco's arrival especially, he's really been able to get the best out of Sarr, playing in a much more advanced position in a much more attacking Watford side actually, compared to Ivic at the start of the season when he looked a little bit more shackled, I think it's fair to say. But yeah, given that freedom in the second half of the season, 13 goals, 4 assists, game changer for Watford. Number 24, I'm going to give it to Brentford's Tarek Fosu. I'm a massive fan of this guy. A lot of his performances for Brentford this season have sort of been like cameo appearances coming off the bench and things like that, but the more I see of him, the more I like him. He absolutely ripped us apart when Brentford came to Deepdale this season, and I think that long term he has a real role in this Brentford side. Number 25 goes to Stoke City's Nick Powell. Where on earth would they be without his goals in the second half of the season? 12 goals, 3 assists for the midfielder this season, and for Powell it was always about a question of could he stay fit. He's proved that this season and has been fantastic. Number 26 is for Watford's Daniel Backman. I think that in the absence of Ben Foster this season, he's proved himself to be one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship and has really taken that opportunity. Tyrese Campbell could have been a shoo-in for this one had he not got injured when he did. Number 27 goes for Barnsley's Alex Mowatt, once again proving himself to be one of the best midfielders in the Championship and being an essential part of this playoff push with Barnsley, with 8 goals and 7 assists from midfield. Number 28, I think I'd give it to Josh Laurent of Reading, you know, this season. There's a couple of others that I could place in there, you know, Anthony Knockout, but he's been a little bit hot and cold this season, hasn't he? Number 29 goes to Philip Beelink. I think he's been utilised really well under Jonathan Woodgate recently, with 8 goals and 4 assists this season. Number 30 goes to Markel Helik of Barnsley. He's been absolutely wonderful this season for them, and another example of their great recruitment. He's got 5 goals to his name, so does chip in with the odd goal here and there from centre-back, but his defensive displays especially have been absolutely wonderful. Number 31, I think I'd have to give it to Francisco Serralta. He's been a real game changer coming into that Watford defence, especially in this second half of the season. You know, as a North End fan, I'd love to give it to Scott Sinclair, but Serralta's had a real influence on this Watford side. Number 32 goes for Watford's Mark Navarro. To be honest, not played all too much football this season. There's just not a lot of other 32s. Number 33, I'm going to go for Millwall's Bartosz Białkowski. I think regularly proves himself to be one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship, certainly one of the most consistent, and with the number of clean sheets that Millwall have actually kept this season, I think it's been another good year for the goalkeeper. Number 34, I'm going to give it to Ben Gibson. I think he's been really good for Norwich whenever he's featured for them. I could have gone for Birmingham's Ivan Sunjic, but over the course of the full season, I've not really been blown away by him. So 34, I give it to Ben Gibson. 35, I'll give to Birmingham's Alan Halilovic. Now, we've not seen all too much of the Croatian midfielder since he signed for Birmingham, but the little spells that we have seen here and there, I'm hoping that he's going to spend another season in the Championship and he gets a bit more consistent game time at Birmingham, because there are certainly sparks of a player in there. Number 36, of course, goes for Stoke City's Harry Souttar. He's been absolutely fantastic for them this season and an absolutely colossal defender, isn't he? me. Number 37 goes for Nottingham Forest midfielder James Gunn. Obviously had a couple of loan spells out in the Championship this season. The first one at Watford definitely faded towards the end, but he's shown some real signs of quality since moving to the City ground. Forest fans will be hoping they'll be able to get him back on loan next season. Number 38 goes for Coventry City's Gustavo Hamer. If you've been watching the channel this season, you'll know how much of a fan of Gustavo Hamer I am. I think it's fair to say that he has faded a little bit in the second half of the season, but even so, that shouldn't take away from the fantastic player that he is and some of the wonderful moments that he's produced for Coventry this season. Number 39 goes for Blackburn Rovers Tyrese Dolan, and I think that given his age and the fact that this is like his first proper season at this level, I think he's done really well for Blackburn this season. Given the minutes that he's played, he's come up with some wonderful moments for them. Really dynamic attacker, really skillful player as well, and at only 19, he's only going to go on and get better. Number 40 goes to Barnsley goalkeeper Bradley Collins. Obviously that number 1 shirt for Barnsley this season has been shared out between Collins and Walton. 41 goes to Coventry midfielder Wilbur Paget. The 18-year-old who's come through the Coventry youth setup is obviously one for the future. 42 goes for Preston North End's Anthony Gordon. Obviously came on loan from Everton in the January window. Hasn't actually played all too much football, but when he has featured, always looks like a bit of a bright spark. 43 goes for Steven Sessegnon, who's been out on loan at Bristol City this season. Probably not played as much football as he would have liked to thanks to injury, but heading forward and into next season, we'll be looking for regular game time. Number 44, I could go for Brad Potts, but realistically it probably is Ben Cabango, another example of Swansea's academy being really successful. 45, I go for Charlie Austin. I think with the impact that he had on that QPR squad and sort of elevating the quality from January onwards, it'll be interesting to see if they do get him back for next season. Could have also gone for Casey Palmer, but I think that he's faded as the season's gone on. 46 goes for Reece Norrington Davis. He's played for a couple of Championship clubs this season, both for Luton and Stoke. 47 goes for Reading striker George Puskas. Now, he's not been able to match his goal tally from last season. He scored 12 for Reading last year round. However, his game time this time round has been severely reduced due to injury. And then we'll wrap up today's video with number 49, Robbie Matonda, who actually scored his first goal for Stoke last weekend against Nottingham Forest. Nice finish in that one. But there we have it, guys. All the numbers going up from 1 to 49 for who I think is the best Championship player who wears that shirt number. Do you agree or disagree with some of my selections? Get your thoughts down in the comments down below. But realistically, this video was just for a bit of fun. So if you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, do stick around and subscribe for some regular Championship content. Check out the Patreon link that is down below. But apart from that, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.